Okay, so this is the next frame I'm setting up. I kind of cleared all the egg away. I'm going to build that shadow underneath my creature to be even stronger. So I'm going to take that drop shadow, make it a little bit more opaque. And before I start moving my creature, I'm going to play with the general atmosphere things I've set up. So I'm going to grow the sky. So much so that it's almost completely thinned out now. And I'm going to take the opacity down on the color a little bit. And now I go back up to my duplicate of my creature for this frame. And I'm less organized now because I'm kind of near the end. But the idea is to now have this character just kind of walk out of the frame. Just move out of the frame, right? This just happened, big moment. So now what happens? And the easiest thing to do is to make a duplicate like I did and then puppet warp him. So edit puppet warp. This is the easiest way to do kind of creature animation. Then I want to pin this foot because that foot's not going to move. But this one is. And I'm just going to move it. Sorry. Oh, it's so funny. He's going to twist his ankle. Boom. Sorry. Makes me laugh. That's because I needed one more point in the puppet warp to be able to move his leg independent of everything else. So it just twisted it around. So twisted his ankle. Yeah, I can make this work. Okay, so this is my next frame. And I'm going to have him actually roll off. So go to my topmost layer, option, layer, merge visible. Animations are always best when they're unpredictable. Command A, Command C, click on the stage, Command V. And is that too abrupt? I don't think so, because the shells have been bursting out now for 2 frames. So I think it's okay to have him not have any eggshell there and no egg anymore. Okay, now clear it from my assets. I have to use this. I have to duplicate it. And now I'm not going to puppet warp it so much because that's going to look kind of mushy if I puppet warp in such big ways twice. But I'm going to make another big movement, which is this. I'm going to make point of contact with his head, but push it off like that. So this is going to be fast. It's like breakdancing. He like broke his ankle and he falls and he's going to roll out. And then I got to change the sky. Because I want to get to where we finish this off. And I got to change the color of the sky just slightly. All right. But I noticed something. This will happen in your assets. I got to get rid of this floating top of the egg. That's the inside of the egg. So I want to make sure I know what all my layers are doing. I don't need this one anymore. Okay. So this is my next frame. From here to here. That'll work. Topmost layer. Hold down Option, Layer, Merge Visible. We have a lot of layers now. Animation takes a lot of assets. Select it all, copy it. Go back, Command D, deselect, clear it. I'm going to move the creature one last time just to roll him out. Transform. He's tucking and rolling. Let's see, where's his head contacting? It's going to be about there. Okay, then like that. See if that will work. From this to that, and then he'll be out. And I've got to change the sky, but I'm so close. 2 frames, and then I'm back to the beginning. So, decrease this a little bit. And then maybe play with the sky one last time. I actually made the sky too dark in the last one, so I need to lighten that up. I forgot to turn off one of the layers. That's why we have all these frames. So I got to repeat that last frame. Option. And that's why kind of forcing yourself to go fast is not always the best idea. Command A, Command C, redoing that last frame. You see how the mist is too heavy all of a sudden? Even though I kind of like the look of it, that's not what I was doing. So now it goes from this to this. That's much better. And now deselect. I already have this one set up. It is now this one, not this one. And I'm going to move him over just a little bit more. No, I'll be fine. Okay, and then the mist, duplicate, transform, grow my final little bit, and the sky color changes my final little bit. Hold down Option, Layer, Merge Visible, Command A, Command C, click on Stage, Command V. I did paste in, but it pasted. There we go. Now we're in order. And then, this is my hope. The next frame, I just turn off everything. Except for the background elements, and I just change the sky a little bit. And let's see what this will look like. I'm going to set this at a really low opacity. Nope, not that. This. And this will be my final frame because I've set it to reset, and now the egg will roll back in. So Option, Layer, Merge Visible. So instead of a walking cycle, having him walk out, especially because I didn't want to move his head and stuff and his eye, I just had him twist his ankle and then roll out. It's going to look super stupid, but that's often how GIF animations work. All right. So now I've built all my assets. I'm going to save my assets. Hopefully I won't need them again. I only need them again if I need to make more frames. Now I go to my stage and I run what I hope is my final animation test. I go to Window, Timeline. Go to the window, Timeline window options. I say Make Frames from Layers. I drag the white background frame to the trash. I scroll. I go to the last frame, click, hold down Shift and click. So I can set the timing. I'm going to do 0.2 seconds. Let's see. I think that's probably about the right timing. Now, I can do what's called animating on the stage. A lot of you have been working on this. I can work on the timing individually of each thing. And I am going to change it just slightly. I'm going to slow it down, but I'm not going to go all the way to 0.3 seconds. I'm going to do another decimal point. So it's good to know that you can go 2 decimal points. So I'm going to do 0.24. So just a little bit slower. Let it process fully. It cracks, nice, and then it rolls out. And now I'm looking at the sky and making sure that it's not too big in a jump. And it isn't too big a jump. It's a little sharp at the very end, but it does kind of set to reset. All right, so I've got my animation. Do you guys think it shows a transformation? All right, And does it use a component I've already made in the class? Yes, it uses 2 of them. So I've got those requirements. How do I save it now? First, once you have the timeline outputted, this is the first time we don't trash it, right? Because our animation's finished. We save it. We save our stage. And that's where we get our finished animation frames. Then we go to File. To put it online, we need an online format. PSD is not an online format. So we go to File, Export. This is a new online format we're learning, which is a GIF. And we go to Save for Web Legacy. This gives you the most options for saving a web animation. GIFs save memory by only allowing a maximum of 256 colors. So you have to tell the computer how you want it to find those colors. That's actually really pretty. But I like the mode of finding the colors, which is called selective. So that's the setting I prefer. You can try the different ones, see what colors you like. And then I like the quality to be bicubic smoother. So those are the 2 settings I use. And then I say save. And just like if you were saving as a PNG from a PSD or saving as a JPEG from a PSD, it's going to give you a new file format. This will be a GIF. It stands for Graphic Interchange Format, but it's not just a GIF. It's a GIF with an animation kind of playback encoded into it. Just like the timeline kind of shows it's a sequence of images that it's saving. It's going to save to the desktop, and I'm going to change the name. I actually don't even need to change the name. I'll just keep it stage. But this is now my animation. But it's my online format of my animation. So I want to find it, and like all of our online formats, we're going to mark it orange. Then I go to the assignment, and I find my post, and this is requirement 2. Requirement 2 is your animation as finished as you can make it. Your animated GIF file. And that's 800 pixels by 800 pixels. So instead of saying 8 inches by 8 inches by 800 or by 100 pixels per inch, I'm just going to say 800 by 800 pixels. Because the GIF is not actually 8 inches by 8 inches by 100 pixels per inch. It is 800 pixels, but it's going to be outputted at 72 pixels per inch, because that's what GIFs do. So it's actually more like 1100 something pixels each dimension, but or not pixels, 11 inches something by 72 pixels per inch. But don't worry about that. You've got your 800 by 800 pixels. So now I drag it in, and I'm going to just shrink it a little bit to fit underneath my sketch. I don't need it to fill the whole screen because it can. It has that high resolution. And because it's a GIF, it's going to automatically play in Canvas. If it doesn't play in Canvas, then you just saved it in the wrong format. Right? That's what's great about GIFs is they play in any online architecture automatically. All right. So now the third requirement is this refined storyboard. To take frames from our finished animation and put them 3 by 3 into like a comic book page.